Everybody, welcome to the show, Pop Culture Blast. We're going to get into a little thing called this versus that. What I'm going to do is I'll start with a different person each time. I'll ask you which one do you think is better or which one do you like better, this or that. You pick it, and then we're going to ask the other two guests what their opinion is, and we'll see which thing wins. All right, so the first one is, I'm going to start with Tom.
Okay.
What's better, Super Nintendo or Genesis?
Well, I grew up in that era, so that was a big deal for me. And a friend of mine had a Genesis, and another friend had a Super Nintendo. They do both have a great library of games, they really do. But for me, the Super Nintendo was superior, and the specific games that did it for me weren't just, it was Super Mario World. When I first saw the giant bullet bill, the bonsai bill, that blew my mind, and the Metroid on it. And the ending for The Legend of Zelda on that is like the movie credits to me. It's absolutely amazing. So I choose Super Nintendo. So
all right, Rolly, what about you? Which one's the better one?
Crazy to contradict the guy who said Mario as a franchise, right? Sega Genesis to me was superior because my neighbor, so I coordinated my neighborhood kids to like the kids in my neighborhood. All right, we don't all have money, so you're gonna get a Super Nintendo, I'm gonna get a Sega, and that's how we're gonna be able to play both systems, right? And I got the Sega because the look and feel of a Sega felt so much more powerful. Like the color scheme on a lot of games. I said it in the live I did earlier. Streets of Rage 2, that game, when that game starts, it's like a movie. The music, the way the words come out to describe what's going on, and then when you're in the game, it looks beautiful, and the soundtrack to it is crazy. Fast forward, Sonic 2 has one of the greatest soundtracks of any game, and it has to do with the audio system. That when they were making this music for these systems, they're like, what can I work with? How much power can I push on this thing? And they got Michael Jackson to help make that.
Yeah. The
Moonwalker. Sonic was just ridiculous. Just the gaming system itself. Another thing I'll point out: Super Nintendo versus Sega. Both consoles have the same game, but there's differences. So, for instance, Aladdin on Super Nintendo is very PG, where it's not that much more it's PG still. But like the one on Sega, it's a little bit harder because again, Disney made their games harder on purpose. And you have a sword to fight the enemies. And the one on Super Nintendo, you didn't. And Mortal Kombat, there is no blood. There was sweat coming off of these guys. In Sega, they're like, all right, if you figure out the code, you get the blood. And it's ABB. You do it in the beginning, and you unlock the blood.
And the Super Nintendo had the fatalities were censored.
Oh yeah, you couldn't do really. I think Kano, you can't do the heart rip. There's some other ones you couldn't do.
Yeah. Dang. So the SNES was more the family oriented. Genesis was more the adult. So I forgot to mention, I'm not going to vote because I consider you guys the video game experts. I love video games, but I don't know as much as you guys do. So the tiebreaker will be Danny. What's the better system, the SNES or the Sega Genesis?
So I'll be kind of biased because when I was a kid, my dad took me to Circuit City to buy me a Sega Genesis. And I remember that Sonic game right when I put it on and I heard that music like you were talking about, it just blew my mind, dude. Like
Earthworm Jim has
every day, all day, and my parents would get so mad because I would be playing when I had to go to school the next day. But I would just put the volume down real low, and then put like a towel on the bottom of the door so they won't see the light or whatever. And they would still find out. I mean, I'll wait till they go to sleep and then play Sonic.
You and Rolly pick Genesis, so that wins the round. Sorry, Tom.
I can understand that, though. I mean, the Genesis was popular for a reason and still is.
It gave Nintendo a run for its money for a good 3 years for a reason. But their problem was they tried doing too much at the same time, which is why they failed. Where Nintendo was like, all right, Super Nintendo, we're focusing on Super Nintendo, and Game Boy. And then they moved console by console, where Sega was doing, let's make a transformer where we stack all these things on top of each other.
Life support. But my favorite on the Genesis, I loved playing that game Gauntlet in the arcade with the 4 people.
Yes, sick. So
Gauntlet
yeah.
4 on the Sega Genesis is an imitation of that port, and it's great. Yeah, I could play that game all night. I played it for 2 hours straight, and just I never. So maybe the Genesis SNES debate is good, and I can see why people would pick the Genesis. So that
Hey, but you get a good call out. Earthworm Jim, an absolute banger of a game.
Yeah,
1 and 2. And just when you beat the levels and you have those 2 cows just being like,
well done.
well done. I was like, dude, such a crazy game.
Oh.
Well, Rolly, you mentioned the Game Boy, so that actually leads into my next question. I'm going to let you answer it first. What's better, the Game Boy or the Game Gear?
Only because of longevity and just the library, the Game Boy takes Game Gear. Game Gear was awesome. It had the Game Gear was our first coming of the Switch because you got portable gaming, you got color TV, like color game
Backlit screen too.
backlit, and you got the TV tuner where you could essentially stream TV at your hands. But it was made. What's another word that it wasn't made great because they fall apart. The capacitors always end up messing up.
Yeah,
You
some
get
of the sound doesn't work on some of them.
where Game Boy didn't need the TV thing, and the games alone on Game Boy is why the Game Boy still to this day is considered one of the greatest handhelds. And I mean, later on we got the camera and the printer, and I think it's shot at
I have that.
8
I have the printer and the camera.
but
They were big on accessories back then,
yeah. Oh, and the light, the worm
Yeah,
light. You needed that worm light.
I've done videos on my Game Boy accessories. I got a decent amount of them. So.
All right, Danny, you're up next. What's best for handheld game system, the Game Boy or the Game Gear?
So I had both. Definitely the Game Gear has because of the the picture, the colors and all that. That was definitely a game changer on for me. But the battery life was just like ridiculous. You know what I mean?
6 double A's.
Hours maybe. I would be playing for hours, and it would just die all of a sudden. Turn that red light or whatever. But definitely Super Mario on the Game Boy.
Oh,
Game Boy was just I could play all day every day. You know what I mean? I would have to give it to probably Game Boy, man. Is that when that Pokemon game came out?
yeah.
Pokemon Red, it was like game over, dude. For every
It's hard to beat the game library and to overcome the battery issue with the Game Gear. It's just it had the power adapter, but if you're on those long car trips, and that's what I remember the most, and there's no save feature, so you just had to play as long as those batteries would let you play, and then it would just shut off. Like you said, the red light. I had a flash of a bad memory when you said that. So I remember my games being cut way short just by those dang batteries. And you couldn't pause the game or save it and put in some new batteries. You would have to restart. Especially those Sonic games, which, man, they had a lot of levels to them.
Yeah.
And I never beat them because I could never have the patience to keep restarting from the beginning.
In my house, my grandparents and my parents taped closed the remotes so I wouldn't take the batteries because I was taking all the batteries.
The cool thing about the Game Gear, there are more Sonic
That's a
games
good one.
on the Game Gear than there are on the Genesis.
Yeah,
That's true.
Is it my choice now? You guys both pick Game
We
Boy,
have 2
right?
for Game Boy, so it wins. But I want to hear your
I'm
thoughts
also
anyway.
I'm gonna also go Game Boy, not just for the battery life. The games alone, like you mentioned, Super Mario Land on the Game Boy one. I think there's 3, but the third one you're Wario. But the first one alone is great, and the Link's Awakening on that console for me. The fact that that's on a Game Boy, that much game, and when it came out for the Switch, I lost my mind. But The Game Boy was just so, and you could play games that you could save and play later, or you could play Tetris or and Alleyway and simple games. But it also had the Mortal Kombat games on it weren't very good. Like the Game Gear definitely had an advantage with the fighting games, but overall the Game Boy was just I never got sick of it. You know, so
All right, Game Boy is the winner then. All right, we're gonna move on. Danny, answer this one first. Which one is the best? Let's go to TV shows. Who was funnier, or who's your favorite, Steve Urkel or Screech from Saved by the Bell?
Geez, I want to say as far as more creative, I would say Steve Urkel. I'd have to go with Steve Urkel. Like, like he didn't always follow the lines and stuff. He would make his own, you know.
like make your own
I would
rules.
have to go with Steve Urkel.
All right, cool. Tom, what do you think between those two?
Yeah, he would go off script. I don't know if you like that. He would go off script.
Oh,
He would keep
ad
it in
lib. Ad lib, I think, is the term when they go off script. I didn't. He was going off script a lot. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That. Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. Come on, improvise. That's I think the word. Like improv comedy when you go to comedy clubs.
Yeah, improvise. There you go.
I think I would probably take Urkel too. That I feel later in the series they used him too much, but there were some episodes where I understood why Screech got beat up or at least roughed up a little bit. You know, because he was kind of annoying, but you know that was his thing. But I'll take Urkel. So.
Rolly, do you agree?
So I love Screech. I love Saved by the Bell. I've ran through Saved by the Bell recently a few times. But like I just said, I just went through Family Matters, and then I went through that rabbit hole of Family Matter like facts and stuff like that. So Urkel wasn't an original character. He was supposed to be a one-off, and
Yep.
the show took off ratings wise once he became a regular. But Urkel is absolutely the one that wins this because the fact is he carried Family Matters on his back. And his transformation chamber, when he would become Stefan, Bruce Lee, all those characters he would make, he played his cousin Myrtle, which is the girl version of him, which has a crazy story that he asked and cried to never play that character again because he got picked on at school. He thought he was going to get picked on at school for it. But at school, they're like, bro, that was so awesome. It was hilarious. And then he's like, oh, okay, so it's not weird that I played a girl. So he told the writers later, hey, if you want to write Myrtle back in, that's why you know there's a huge gap between when she plays it the first time to later. He's like, if you guys want to try Myrtle again, bring her back. I'm like, I'm cool with it. But by that time, he was already like a jacked dude. So Myrtle looked really ridiculous.
Yeah. Wow. Huh.
So I'll vote on this too. I'm going to say Urkel all the way. Yeah, you're right, Tom. Screech, he definitely deserved a lot of, I mean, he was super annoying. Urkel he had like some cool characters, like when he could transform and stuff, and that's really cool for an actor to be able to play multiple roles, as yourself. And I went down kind of a rabbit hole too of Family Matters, and the algorithm kept giving me these Family Matter videos on TikTok, and because I guess they had a reunion
In 2020,
recently,
2021.
and he wasn't part of it or something. Jaleel White, I think he said like he wasn't part of it, or they were mad at him because he had written a book that kind of like didn't talk too well about the other actors because there was some conflict between the actors and him because when he came on board and then the writers figured out how popular he was and they started giving him more storylines, that made the crew from the family kind of jealous. And so there was kind of some pushback against him and he felt that, as an actor. So there's kind of some bad blood, but I don't know. Have you any of you heard anything about that?
So I think they did mention something about that, but I think like they came along later and said that was all resolved and they're all still cool. I think he is in the reunion though, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's in the reunion. I think it's on HBO Max. I watched that one and the Fresh Prince one, and I'm pretty sure he was there. He was sitting next to Laura the whole time.
Okay. Well, yeah, he may have been there, but I just was watching these videos that apparently there was this bad blood for many years. But I
Yeah.
guess they've resolved it. Now there's an understanding.
Yeah,
So that's
like
good.
the show was
Um,
called Family Matters, but yet they're making all these story arcs for Urkel. And it's like, yo, he's not in the family, so why are we making stories around him and stuff like that?
the daughters kept changing and
But
different
isn't it
actresses, and they would disappear for a while.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was like,
the youngest one went upstairs and never came back down.
yeah, like Happy Days, where the one guy just went upstairs with his basketball and like I think Family Guy referenced it once, and they never talked about him again. That was it.
I remember hearing Jaleel White talking about how the other cast members were jealous because the studio audience that they would film in front of, they would go absolutely crazy when he stepped onto the floor, and they would chant his name during breaks. And he just said it felt good, but it also kind of ostracized him from the rest of the crew and or the other actors. So that couldn't have been easy, but that's that's fame.
So what do
All
we
right,
got?
so Urkel wins that one. What's the better franchise? Ghostbusters, which we've talked about, or Back to the Future?
Well, I don't want to say I'm biased on this one, but I really am into the Back to the Future movies, and I feel the third one is way underappreciated. A lot of people talk bad about it. I even told a guy at work about it, and he hadn't seen it. And he said, "No, I heard it's not very good." I'm like, "Just watch it. I know it's a different setting, but the premise is the same, and the challenges are the same, and it still, I think it still really works, and I really enjoy it. They got the problems with getting to the certain speed, and the other ones it was the problem with getting the fuel. Nothing against the Ghostbusters movies. I really do enjoy them. But for me, it's Back to the Future, except for the games because they're terrible. The LJN games on the NES, that was kind of insulting that they made those. I think so. So that's my choice. My choice is Back to the Future.
All right, I gotta disagree with you about that third movie though. But Rolly, what do you think?
Back to unfortunately, you put two of my franchises against each other, bro. But Back to the Future wins because it's a movie franchise, and I get people don't like the third one. The third one is my least favorite. My order for them is 2, 1, 3, because 2 is literally when they go to the future, and that was such an impactful thing to see as a kid. I'm like, holy crap! The hoverboard, the cars flying, the whole.
And we would have done the same thing with a sports almanac. We all would have done the same thing.
All of us. Dude, I'm a sneakerhead. I collect sneakers, so those
boy.
auto lacing mags. Come on, like I would kill to have those shoes, but I don't have $15,000.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my hoverboard.
and not those things that we see on the street, the kids rolling around.
Yeah.
Actual hover. The
Hoverboards
technology
don't have
is this. Like, why don't we
Hoverboards don't have
But
wheels.
yeah, definitely. Back to the Future wins. I have a bunch of Back to the Future stuff. It's just spread out. I don't have a Back to the Future section yet, but coming soon.
All right, so I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna let Danny go last because I'm gonna say it's Ghostbusters, and I'm gonna let Danny either do a tie or let Back to the Future win. But I'm gonna explain. Ghostbusters is better. Back to the Future 2 is the only good movie of that franchise. 3 is awful. 1 is okay. It's got some good parts. But Ghostbusters is amazing. 1 and 2 are both great movies. I'm not talking about the new stuff, but we're talking about the OG stuff, right? Ghostbusters, I never wanted to have toys for a franchise more than Ghostbusters. I just really got into it. I think I was Ghostbusters for Halloween several years in a row. I had the car. It was just the whole thing. So I never wanted to dress up as anybody in Back to the Future. The futuristic stuff is cool, which is why number 2 is the best movie of the franchise. But it's got to be Ghostbusters for me. All right, so it's 2 for Back to the Future, 1 for Ghostbusters. What do you say, Danny?
Danny's turn.
I'm gonna be the deal breaker. It's Back to the Future.
All
It
right.
has to be Back to the Future, man. Um, Listen, the DeLorean just blew my mind. When I saw DeLorean the first time, that movie, the DeLorean came
That's
out,
fair.
dude, it just blew my mind, bro. And when it was just amazing, you know what I mean? Ghostbusters, I get your point. Ghostbusters is awesome. Dan Aykroyd was awesome. I like all of them. You know what I mean? But that was just Back to the Future was just like they say it's the best movie ever made. Honestly, it is the
All
best movie
right.
ever made in my opinion. Back to
All
the
right.
Future.
Back to the Future will win because you guys outvoted me. But I mean, come on, the acting cast of comic geniuses in those Ghostbusters movies should
They are
surpass
really
anything that
Even
was
Rick
going on
Moranis-
with Michael J. Fox, who was their
could've
second
put-
choice, by the
You could
way.
have put any other movie against Ghostbusters, and I would have been with you. But you chose one of the trilogies to go against Ghostbusters. When you said the two movies, I was like, Ghostbusters versus who? Ah, how?
Because earlier when you said like best movie franchise, I don't think I said mine, but I was gonna say Back to the Future because they were all. I think my order is actually 1, 3, 2, which is the opposite of yours. I
1, 3,
think.
2. I've never met anybody that puts 3 before any of them.
Huh.
3 is so bad.
No, I like it. I
Can't get through it.
3 doesn't feel like a science fiction movie. It feels like a love story.
Not at all.
No,
And I'm
yeah,
really
yeah.
turned off by those westerns and old stuff. I love the future technology. I haven't mentioned it yet, but Star Trek is my thing. Star Wars is almost right up there as much as I love Star Trek. So I'm big into the future and technology. So Ghostbusters kind of has that in there, but I love comedy, and Bill Murray is one of my favorites. So, what's the name of the doctor? What's his character's name? Or I mean, what's the actor's
Oh, Bill
name?
Murray.
Venkman, Peter Venkman.
The
And,
guy who plays the
Dr.
doc
Emmett Brown,
on
Christopher Lloyd?
Christopher Lloyd, yeah.
Brown. Emmett Brown.
Christopher Lloyd's is like kind of the only standout in those movies as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, I guess he was kind of no one else. I mean, even Michael J. Fox didn't stand out too much, but I just really like the. There's a lot of suspense in it. I think the first one.
I think Biff was a hateable character, so I think Biff set out pretty.
What they did good in Back to the Future was in the first one they made a scenario that you wouldn't think of, but if you were ever presented it, you'd be like, "Wow, what would it be like to see my parents in high school and actually interact with them?" That's a crazy scenario to have to interact with. 1, 2, how crazy and nasty to the point your mom starts liking you, hitting on you. And your mom is such a prude to you when you're a kid and tells you a girl shouldn't be calling you, but she was a freak when she was a teenager.
Maybe that's why she didn't want them coming around.
Yeah. He's like, "Yo, Doc, are you telling me that my mom has got the hots for me?"
Yeah, that's it. Got the hots for me.
That's
I
how
like the terms. I like the terms that they use too, because they said stuff like that back in the day. So, but geez, I saw that.
All right. So I'll concede on that one.
That's heavy.
Let's do one more of these, this or that. Let's go to Rolly first. Jurassic Park or The Matrix?
Jurassic Park.
That easy.
That easy. Jurassic Park all day. I mean, I'm a 80s and 90s kids. Dinosaurs were huge.
Yeah,
Like,
and dinosaurs are always interesting.
So when I first Jurassic Park had one of those moments where like I was in the theater and the first time they pull up and she takes off her glasses, we were all like that in the theater. The Matrix was awesome. I love the Matrix. Like I have the Matrix and Jurassic Park back there in my blockbuster section. But Jurassic Park, I love all 3 of those movies. The same thing for Back to the Future, where people don't like the third one. I love the third Jurassic Park movie.
I saw that recently, and I heard it was bad. And when I watched it, I'm like, why were they saying this was so terrible?
Yeah, no, but Jurassic Park,
It's not bad.
Absolutely, that movie just did it impacted all of us when we first saw it. It looked incredible, and the same thing. The Matrix did the same thing. It blew us away. But something about Jurassic Park it gave us that wonderment. Like, holy crap, those are real ass dinosaurs.
Yeah, Tom and I, we've talked about Jurassic Park a few times on our show, and I'll say it here. I've already told Tom it's admitting something kind of embarrassing, but when I was young, watching this movie when I was 10 years old, 9 or 10, I thought the science behind it of the cloning was real and that we were about ready to have dinosaurs in real life. And I was all excited as a kid, thinking, wow, I can't believe that they're about to do this and that it was actually something real. So, did anybody else have that kind of gullibility?
100%. Every time I went to the grocery store and I saw a damn shaving can, I was like, okay, no.
I did.
Oh, that's right, the Barbasol.
Danny, what about you? What would you pick if you had to pick which one's better, Jurassic Park or The Matrix?
I love them both, but I feel like The Matrix has gone as far as it can go. Like the world ended, you're in a, simulation, you're a battery, and that's it, right? So I feel like Jurassic Park is just so endless, and you can, create new dinosaurs and create new storylines, and dinosaurs are never going to go out of style because, I've loved dinosaurs since I was a kid. Dinosaurs were huge, you know, even as a kid, you know what I mean? Like I remember we used to order those books on those, if you guys seen those dinosaur books or whatever, where the infomercial would come out on TV and, you can order all these books on different dinosaurs and stuff. But I feel like just Jurassic Park and just endless stories. I think just the Matrix has gone as far as it can go.
All right.
Yeah, that's
And
my.
I'm assuming you all have seen the new Matrix. I can't even remember all their subtitles, what the new one's called. But basically, there are three that I consider, and then there's a fourth one that just came out that I don't even think about that one.
I erased it like immediately after I watched it.
You erased it.
Yeah, me too.
Delete.
Tom, what are you gonna pick between those two?
I actually saw both the first one of each series in the theater, and they both were pretty mind blowing. I really did enjoy them both, but I think the Jurassic Park one too, especially like the dinosaurs looked real in that. It like putting myself in either one of those movies, the Jurassic Park one would have been just absolutely terrifying, but fascinating at the same time. And I think, like most people, dinosaurs were one of the coolest things when you were growing up.
Yeah.
And you sometimes you don't want to outgrow them, and I'm kind of glad part of me didn't. So I'm gonna go with Jurassic. Nothing against the Matrix movies. I am a big fan, but I thought Keanu Reeves was great for Neo. And but the Jurassic Park one, the first time I saw the dinosaurs, that was a big deal. Especially the scene with Newman from Seinfeld, where the dinosaur got him there.
Which fun fact. My girl,
She's on me.
she's a reader, and I told her to read the book because I had never read the book. That scene where he's in the car with that dinosaur, that thing is supposed to be way more brutal. She read the book and compared and told me the stuff. Bro, the book is so much more.
Well, the book, one of them got into a house and ate a kid, didn't he?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that whole part where the T-Rex swims and chases people that they put in the new one was supposed to be in the first one.
Oh, damn.
I haven't seen the new one yet.
They're
I'm waiting for that to go on free streaming because I didn't hear good reviews, so I didn't go to theaters.
It was
All right, cool. We're gonna play a little trivia game. Let me explain how the game goes real quick. I'm gonna give one clue, and if you get the answer on the first clue, you get 5 points. And if no one gets it, then I'm gonna give a second clue. If you get it on the second clue, you get 3 points.
Okay,
And then if you need a third clue, if you get it after third clue, you get 1 point only. All right. So I guess I'll do a countdown, and then you'll show your answer. All right. So don't yell it out; just write it down. All right. Here's the first one. This is going to be in the category of movies, TV shows, video games of 80s and 90s. That's going to be your answer, something in that world. Here's your first clue. Futuristic blockbuster movie from 1993. I'll give you a few seconds to think and write down your answer.
All right.
All right, I'm going to give you 5 more seconds.
In 1993.
All right, if you have a guess, show it now. Time's up. All right, you guys both got it.
Don't.
Demolition Man.
From
Is that-
1993.
I knew I was close, but I couldn't think of the.
All right, Tom, you got 5 points. Rolly, you got 5 points. Let me tell you the other clues, just so I
Sorry.
don't.
I couldn't
all
think
right,
of
I was
one.
gonna say Taco Bell is the only restaurant. That was my second clue. And the third clue was starring Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock. So the clues get a little easier, as it goes.
So, fun fact before you move on. In the European version, it's not Taco Bell, it's Pizza Hut. And that blew my mind the other day when I was watching Amazon and they played it and they said Pizza Hut. I thought I was having a Mandela effect. I was like, no.
For real.
Hell no.
Well, aren't they owned by the same parent company? Aren't they
Yes.
all PepsiCo?
But in 1993, Taco Bell was not popular at all in Europe. So they went in post and changed everything to Pizza Hut. Even the imagery on the movie is Pizza Hut. But when you look at their mouth and they talk, they say Taco Bell, but their audio says Pizza Hut.
Wow, that's
Fascinating. I never knew that. Here's the second question. All right, here's the first clue. It's a 1996 video game by Naughty Dog.
I might get this wrong.
5 seconds.
Now you got me on that one. Crash Bandicoot.
So Tom's the only one that's got an answer up. Crash Bandicoot was correct. That's right, Tom.
it?
All right.
I'm a big fan of that franchise, so.
So Tom, you got 10 points. Rolly, you got 5. Danny, you're not on the board yet, right? Am I keeping score good? Keep me honest. All right.
I got 0.
I don't want to miss anything. All right. I just for fun, here are my other clues. Second clue was it was a PlayStation 1 exclusive. And the third clue was its sequel was titled The Cortex Strikes Back. All right, here we go. Question number 3. Clue number 1. It's Nickelodeon's third longest running cartoon series. It ran for 9 seasons. Take your best guess and show me your answer in 5 seconds.
Damn, it's a good one.
If you got an answer, show it now. Let's see. What's it say, Danny?
Danny's blinking out.
What's your say?
Can't even tell.
And then the other two said Rugrats. All right, before I give you the answer, here are the other clues. Second clue was Tommy Pickles.
Yeah.
And the third clue is toddlers. So it was Rugrats.
Oh.
All right, you guys both got it on the first clue.
Okay.
All right, Tom, you're at 15. Rolly, you're at 10. Question 4. Our first clue. It's a campy horror anthology series. All right. In 5 seconds, show me your answer. All right, what we got?
Oh, I got it wrong.
Say Jason.
Rolly, tell me what you got.
I put Are You Afraid of Dark? I thought we were still doing shows.
What do you got, Danny?
I put Jason. Jason?
And I didn't specify movie or TV series, and that was on purpose. But none of you are right, so let me give you the second clue for 3 points.
Damn. All right, better get ready.
Here's the next clue. It originally aired on HBO.
That's true.
I got it.
All right, show me your answer in 5 seconds. All right, if you got an answer, let's see. Tom, you got one? Rolly, what did yours say?
Tales from the Crypt.
Is that what you put
I
too?
thought that was on Fox.
That's correct. You guys are both right. Tales from the Crypt.
It's funny.
My third clue
first
was
answer
the
like
Crypt
kid
Keeper.
version of that.
Ah.
All right,
That
3
was-
points to Tom. You're at 18. Rolly, another 3. You're at 13. All right. Next question. First clue. It's a video game console which was released in 1998. All right, 5 seconds left. If you got an answer, let's see it. For 5 points. Danny, you can say yours. All right, none of you are right, so second clue.
PS1?
No, we're all wrong.
PS1 was 94, PS2 was 99.
Oh, 99.
All right, the second clue is Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Oh my god, yes. Damn it. I knew it. I knew that's what it was. Second guess myself.
All right, 5 seconds left.
Sure.
All right, show your answers. Xbox
Xbox?
and Dreamcast. Danny?
The Dreamcast.
Yeah, you're right. It's Dreamcast. So I'm going to give you 3. And Rolly, you got 3. Tom, you're at 18 still. All right. My third clue for that one was it had online capabilities right out of the box. You guys remember that?
Yep.
All right, we got 3 more questions. All right. First clue. The subtitle for the sequel. Sorry. I'm looking for the subtitle for this movie. And this movie is the sequel to a 90s classic movie. Both of these movies were written by John Hughes. Let me rephrase that. There's a classic 90s movie written by John Hughes, and there's a sequel to it. What's the subtitle of that sequel movie? 5 seconds. Rolly looks confident. All right, if you got an answer, let's show it now.
I don't have an answer.
Say it out loud, Rolly.
Lost in New York.
That's correct. The sequel to Home Alone.
Oh, wrong. Lost in New York.
Nice job. Rolly, you're at 21.
Oh, I'm alone.
You're in the lead now. Tom, you got
who did that
18.
one.
Danny, you got 3. Let me tell you my other clues real quick, just for fun. The second clue was keep the change, you filthy animal. And the third clue was Kevin!
Oh, dang.
2 more questions.
Okay.
All right, first clue. This video game character has a filthy mouth. 5 seconds.
I think I know this one. It could be a couple, but
All right, if you got an answer, let's see it.
Baker.
Danny, what's yours say?
I don't know why I was gonna say Eric Cartman because he was in Stop Talking. I know they curse a lot.
All right. None of you got it right for 5 points. So let's try for 3. I'm going to give you the second clue.
I was thinking Bad Fur Day.
All right. So the filthy mouth. Second clue is the first level is called Hollywood Holocaust. All right. 5 seconds.
This is a guess, but I don't know.
All right. If you got the answer, let's see it.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yes, you guys are right. Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem.
We both got it.
All right. Tom, you're at 21. Raleigh, you're at 24.
What's
My third clue for that one was he fights aliens and mutated humans. I was almost going to say strippers too, but... All right, we're at our last question.
I remember in the arcade they had a Duke Nukem game.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they had an arcade port of that. Sweet. Huh.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Well, it was like
I knew it was on N64.
Huh. Cool. Well, I didn't know
All right.
about that. All right, last one.
Here we go for it's kind of for the win between Tom and Rolly, but you know, Danny, do your best on this last question here. All right, there's a movie based off of this 1996 action adventure video game. What's the title?
What was the year?
1996. I'll be surprised if any of you get it on the first clue, honestly. But 5 seconds. I'll be surprised if any of you get it on the first clue, honestly. But 5 seconds.
I don't have an answer.
No answer for Tom. Rolly, you got anything?
Not when
Danny?
1996.
No.
No answer yet.
All right, we're gonna go to second clue. The main character is based off of Indiana Jones. I'm seeing a lot of blank expressions.
A movie
5
that came
seconds.
out in 1996. Yeah.
Maybe let me say.
Lower Croft? Tomb Raider?
Oh, he got it.
Is it
Danny
Tomb
got
Raider?
it.
Oh.
Yeah, Tomb Raider.
Oh,
So I was
Danny
gonna
got
say
it.
that it was based off of a 1996 video game. So I'm not sure when the movie came out, but the video game was 1996.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I misheard because I thought you said a movie that came out in '96 based on a video game. That's why I was like thrown off.
That's where.
I don't think
All
I
right.
would have.
My third clue. My third clue is going to be Angelina Jolie. I think everybody would have got it by then.
I don't think.
All
I
right.
would've
Good job,
gotten it.
Danny.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Danny was 6.
Thanks.
Tom, you got 21. And Raleigh, he wins it with 24. Nice job, bro. The
Good work.
Nostalgia King. I'll give you my crown. There you go.
That was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you guys. I appreciate
Hopefully
you
we'll
guys.
be able to do it again sometime in the future. I planned more than what we got to, so there's some other fun topics to get to, but we'd love to have you back to talk about anything retro. So I'll give you a second to plug your channel. Give us your TikTok handle or whatever social media you want people to follow you on. Danny, why don't you tell us where to follow you at?
You can follow me on Instagram or TikTok, DudeMon88. Nothing but good vibes, nostalgia. Early 2000s, more based in early 2000s, 90s. But
That's cool. That's cool. We do 80s and 90s mostly between me and Tom, but we need people to broaden our horizons a little bit with some early 2000s. I love early 2000s too, though. Rolly, what about you? What can people see on your channel, and how can they follow you?
So mine's is Rolly's Retro Room across the board: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I have a podcast where we talk everything 80s, 90s, and 2000s. TV shows, video games, movies. Me and my buddies sometimes get into arguments because we're on opposite sides of the table. So we'll do like lunch table arguments, PS1 versus N64, Super Nintendo versus Sega. And my TikTok, I basically cut a lot of the segments into shorts, so you can catch a lot of that on there. But yeah, it's all nostalgic vibes. A lot of times I've been told before this social media thing that every time I talk to you, you remind me of something from my childhood. How do you remember it so vividly? And I was like, my brain just works that way. Now, I can't remember something I did 5 minutes ago, but 30 years ago, I remember it perfectly.
Same here. Well, thank you guys again for joining us. And about all three of you, I love watching your all's channels because I was always the type of gamer where I liked watching my friends play more than playing it myself. So Danny, Rolly, and Tom, I love just sitting back, putting on your all's live, and just seeing what you guys are showing off. I love that. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man.
Hey, thanks for a good night, everybody. I'll
Thank
catch
you
you
so
later.
much.
Yeah, y'all have a good one.
I hope
sir.
we get to do this.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.
Take care.